It's great to see so many wonderful people supporting such a great person in Imelda Padilla. There's little things that happen in life that you never know how things are going to turn or end up or what have you. I'm so proud to say that I'm the son of immigrants, but equally proud to say that I was fortunate to be born in this great country. My parents came here, started off working in the fields in the Central Valley, and then came to the Valley in the 1950s when my father was part of the big construction boom of the 1950s and 60s. And then later on, he started his own gardening business. And I mentioned that trajectory because with us today is probably, could be, the first council member of the woman of the city of Los Angeles who's the daughter of a gardener. So Imelda and I share a lot in common, and we share the fact that my father was a gardener after he left the construction industry. And a very hardworking person, very honest person, a person who came to this country and just felt so blessed. My mother and father felt so blessed that they could leave their poor little town in Tepoztlán, Jalisco, Mexico, where they were only able to achieve an education of about the second grade. I say about the second grade because there were no formal schools in Tepoztlán. So back then what happened was that usually was a young lady, they'd say, "You know how to read and write?" She says, "Yes, I do." And then they'd say, "You're going to be the town teacher." And that person would have people 5 years old, 6 and 7, and sometimes if they were lucky enough to stay in school, be 10 and 12 years old learning with the little 5-year-olds from this one person who was making a makeshift education system for that community. I say that to you because they came to this country and ended up right here in Pacoima in the San Fernando Valley, where you can walk just a few blocks in any direction and you'll find a public school. And that was something that they just thought was amazing and beautiful and critical for the next generation and the next and the next. I tell you that because I believe that's Imelda's story. But more importantly, I think it's the story of the vast majority of her constituents. Imelda is the councilwoman of a community that is mostly of immigrant families, where in that family you have likely at least 3 generations, if not 4 generations under one roof, speaking more than one language, working hard, giving to this country, and giving of themselves, literally breaking their backs to make this country the beautiful country that it is. I say that because right now we seem to have a bit of a contrast. That story is not believed or appreciated even by somebody like the President of the United States. And I'm not being political, I'm just reminding every single one of us that sometimes we are not elected. And no, I'm not elected anymore. So every day when I hear about these atrocities, I'm trying to figure out what can I do to be a positive difference and to make a positive change as a citizen, not as an elected official. But tonight we're here to honor someone who takes her responsibility not only as a citizen, but a responsibility and the honor that has been bestowed upon her by her community that she grew up in, that her mother still lives in, that she bought a home in, to be able to bring her heart and soul to every decision that she makes. And I have talked to Imelda since she's been elected, and she has shared with me that sometimes, and I can say this because everybody knows that once in a while I might shed a tear when I'm talking about my community. That sometimes she might even shed a tear because of the frustration or the anger or the disappointment of injustice. That's who we're honoring today. Someone who earned her place in her community and this country. And I just wanted to be here tonight, as you've given me the honor to have the microphone for just a few minutes, to say thank you, every person who's here, who recognized a true, amazing, budding public servant. Because I believe that Imelda Padilla is going to see many, many responsibilities and tackle them and teach many of us how it needs to be done. So, Imelda, congratulations.